Welcome to another work in progress video. This time round I'm going to show some of the features, the terrain tools that are new in version 0.6. First I'm just going to create a track that's 2.8 kilometers. I'll raise the end of it up, select all nodes, smooth by height, smooth the control points as well for a smoother road. And now we're going to add terrain to it. Firstly, I'll just demonstrate that you can add terrain by clicking on the track and dragging it forwards or backwards. This just adds terrain areas there. If you do a long enough piece, then it will add several terrain pieces, which is good. It's good not to have the terrain pieces not too long. Or you can, as I prefer to do, add it for the whole track. I'll just add a little bit more to it, some randomness as well. We'll create that, and I'll just unhide it, and there it is, your newly created track pieces. And the panels here, I created 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those distances, so you got 10, 20, 30, 40 meters out, and these are ticked where it's going to be reduced. So you can see here the number of polygons are reduced as it steps out. That's well and good, but of course there's a lot more terrain to fill in, and that can be time consuming. So there's a couple of things that you can do speed that up. One is that you can now edit in the 3D window, so you can select these and hold shift and Y down to move them up and down, which is useful enough. You can multi-select by holding shift, press control, and you can deselect points. And then there's this tool, which you will have used before in the top view, that now can be used in the 3D view as well. That's good as it's used there, but there is another use to it. You can select a whole edge, and then on that edge, doesn't matter that these inside points are selected, but on that edge click and drag outwards to form new terrain areas, or new sections to the terrain area. And they are automatically reduced by that amount there, so it makes it easier to pull out large pieces without creating huge amounts of polygons, which isn't really needed for areas that you're not going to drive on. So that's one thing you can do. Just to show you again on this side how easy that is, I'm just going to deselect the corner pieces, otherwise they'll be included as part of this edge. But there you go, done. So if you're at ground level, that's not a bad amount of terrain there either side. Now for these inside sections, we've got another useful tool or menu option, fill. It's basically any area that was selected there will get filled in, as long as it's one or more edges that are selected. You can actually do this and say fill, and so it's filled in those areas. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but you can. The other thing you can do, if I go back to this tool here and select this area, you can put that contract amount down, and as you click and drag, it reduces the size of those, contracts them all towards each other if you like. And if I just hit the M key on that, you then got terrain, which is a little bit more detailed than the fill section. The fill section goes from one edge to the other. These have got pieces in between that you can now raise and lower as you wish. So that's handy, and will speed things up, no doubt, for those frustrated by the current terrain system. You've also got some tools here to help raise and lower. There's my new little friend. That helps you identify what range he's going to have an effect on. You'll be doing nothing by clicking here. It needs to be over these points for it to raise and lower. So that just helps you see that. And he also bends over terrain, so you can see the shape of terrain a little bit more. You can expand his radius, and he expands in the number of points, which is useful. And you can again increase the strength there. You can decrease or increase the terrain. And if you go a little bit overboard, this new tool is going to help. This is to flatten the terrain, and again it's got its own values for strength and radius, so let's up that a little bit, and we'll soften the strength. And what this allows us to do is smooth out the terrain. So it's going to bring that, whatever you click on first, that's the height that other terrain is going to be brought to. Now it's happening very slowly there. If you actually increase the strength of that, it happens all very quickly. So if you wanted to smooth out the terrain either side of the road, yeah, it's done. If you wanted the terrain over here to match this ditch over here, you can do so by just working those edges there. So now that area is all flattened out, you may want to put objects on there that you intend to flatten out, or just do small clicks to smooth that. So that's useful. And then the last part of it is really the materials. You can select materials now holding shift down and doing single select, or you can lasso them to select them. Select all. We're going to apply another material here. In this case we're going to do let's do the gravel, and then we can do the same old rub blend that we used to do, but we do it in the 3D mode now. And of course you can use a background image on that if you wanted to. Hold shift down to undo it or add some more. So that's going to make terrain building a whole lot easier, and that's all I've got to show.